On third down, Rivers. And that is incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Returnable for Grant. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber.
Here's Gaskin. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is just going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on 3rd. Rosen just getting the snap off and 1. And it's caught by Parker. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds. A big play there on the catch and run. 51 yards.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's 1st down on the other side of the field. Here's Walton. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Watch left. He's top right there. Alert, alert. 3 down, 3 down. Check. 80. Press down.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
work his way down to the 16. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down.
They're going to 88. They're going to 88.
Now a carry for Walton. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And it bangs off the right upright. No good. And this score will stay right where it is. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Well, this game is, of course, part of the NFL 100 series, and the historical significance here goes back to that 1981 AFC divisional round game. Dubbed the Epic in Miami. Others called it the game that no one should have lost. Boy, you had so many great plays in there. The hook and ladder, the end of the second quarter by the Dolphins. Remember Kellen Winslow, future Hall of Famer, getting carried off exhausted in that contest. Over 1,000 total yards between the two teams, and led by Dan Fouts, the Chargers pulled off the 3-point win in overtime. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. He's got a man. It's Williams. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll get an update when we come back. to Miami. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Back to you. I'm going back to you.
Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now Gordon. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Rivers. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Rivers. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
On is the Chargers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 35 yards that time on the punt, and it'll be Dolphin football. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
It's a pickup of 6.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Grant. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And the Dolphins, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
On first down, Walton. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL.
Check 24, check 24.
On second down, Laird. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run now with Gaskin. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
A loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 12 at the 36-yard line.
Alert! Single. 22, twice on 22. Watch the back.
And they'll throw it with Rosen. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd down and 12.
Single.
X3, 218, chop it. Hard.
Check 25. Shoot. Check 3.
Hey, orbit.
From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Throw left side complete. It's Williams. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down.
It's 4th down.
So on 4th down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down Broadway. And the Dolphins are going to tie the score at 3. Well, maybe a nice psychological boost there just to get back to even with that field goal as we head towards half.
Coaching 101 always says at halftime, play it like it's 0-0 on the scoreboard. Well, in this case, it's level, right? Same score each side. Just start over. Now you get the second half to play.
And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
The Chargers take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bobby McCain. He was trying to get that one to Allen that time.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Time remaining for likely one final play. You're on your side of the field, but, you know, heck, maybe you throw one up 50-plus yards, see what happens.
Don't forget that taking the knee is the right play to make, because you just get out of there, you regroup, you start over. But if you're going to take the shot, you do have a chance of either making the play happen or picking up a deep pass interference call. And remember, it's the NFL. You get yardage. It's not just a 15-yard play. You could have something big here. Let's see if they take the shot.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Chargers take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. A big play there for L.A. 48 yards. Well, they know they've got a good starter. Now the guy coming in to spell him shows he can run it pretty good as well.
And I think he appreciates the starter, wearing people down, tiring them out a little bit. He took full advantage, didn't he? Came in with fresh legs and carried the ball.
So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for first and 10. Throwing, Rivers. And his throw here is incomplete. Mike Williams, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's second and 10. To throw again. Rivers. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Temporarily out of field goal range now as they come up on a second and long after the holding call. From the gun, Rivers. And that's going to be incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Step run 80. Block 11.
That's the run. They're running it.
Third and long for Rivers. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Brings up second and 8 at the 22-yard line.
From the 22, here's second and 8.
52's the mic. Let's go. Slam, slam.
They'll run with Walton. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
Third and 4.
It's our time. It's our time.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. Pressure comes and down goes Rosen. Joey Bosa able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
The Chargers take over
Let's go.
first and 10 at their own 47-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Ready! 180!
Watch the screen.
Red Delta!
36.
First down, and they stick with Eckler. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Watch the slant. Whip. Watch the whip.
Hey, go orange.
On 2nd down, Eckler. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one good for 33 and a first. Well, he, like many good running backs, loves to go to the right, and he looked really comfortable going right there.
And was aided by the deception from his QB, who dropped back first before pitching it out to the right to him. I think it allowed the blocking to get set, and that allowed for the big run, too.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's 1st and goal.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
180! Behind!
They'll try the ground game with Jackson. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. Justin Jackson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Chargers have taken the lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the lead is now 10-3. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. On 2nd down now, it's Walton. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
$180!
Get ready. Two times. Hey. We got three. Three down.
Hey, quarter.
Mike 4. Blue down.
Yes.
Mike 4. Watch the run.
On 3rd and 1, Rosen. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through picking up the first.
You ain't doing nothing today.
Watch the edge.
One down. What do you got?
They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Williams. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at their 49-yard line.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
We got 3, fellas, we got 3.
Check 52. Monday.
Here's Rosen. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. Joey Bosa in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Here we go.
Check 13. Check 13.
Under 10. Under.
Hey, alert. Hey, Charlie.
3rd and long here for Rosen. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Returning, it's Benjamin. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 23-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Rivers now to throw on first down. Throw left side, complete. That's Williams. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now a toss play to Eckler. He'll have a first down past the 40. And some room to work. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, L.A. Austin Eckler, his 4th touchdown on the year. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on. And remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
Badgley now to kick this one away.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Now a give, right side. Laird, and good pursuit yet again by the Chargers as they stuff him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Loss of a yard. Brings up 3rd down and 2.
An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down.
What do you got?
Mike 4.
Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. 80. What do you got?
Now it's Rosen. He's got his man. It's Williams. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Rosen now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. And now it's Rosen looking. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. This is Gaskin on the carry. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and make...
180. Fellas, let's set a tone.
We got trips over here. Trips over here. Let's overload. Overload. Watch 17. Watch.
Name on that. We got tight left. Tight left. Kill. Hey, turn it up. Turn it up.
Hey, switch gears. Switch gears.
One day.
Rosen to throw on 3rd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 38-yard line. The catches like that, that's what the Dolphins envisioned when they took Gesicki high in the 2nd round a season ago. He did have 22 catches as a rookie, but did not find the end zone. Certainly feels more comfortable wearing number 88, his old college number, after sporting 86 as a rookie.
Here we go.
Mike 4.
I got it.
Rosen on 1st and 10. There goes a deep ball, end zone. That is caught by Williams for a Dolphins touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, as his guys are back within a single score. And they use that height on the outside to get the score.
We've seen the evolution of the wide receivers. They've gotten taller and taller, but they've retained their quickness and their speed. It's a lethal combination.
Always good to have wide receivers with height. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. They've been rolling the last couple of drives, each inning in touchdowns. So this game is flipped. They were down. Now they're up with the football. We'll see how they handle it.
Can we get a spy on the headset now between the head coach and offensive coordinator? Because they've been in attack mode. Had to get back into the game. Now they have the lead. Do you stay on the attack, or do you dial it back a little bit to try and protect this lead?
Well, my cop-out answer would be somewhere in the middle. I think it's going to be a fine line, is it not?
I think you're exactly right, but I do think if they can stay aggressive and keep them on their heels, they'll be best served that way.
First and goal, Los Angeles.
So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
They run on first down with Jackson. Runs over him. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this fourth quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the fourth quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
From the 2 now, second and goal.
Come on, dude. Kill.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
The ball down at the 1 as they come up after the penalty on another second and goal. Trying to punch it in with Eckler. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now, to stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. It's Eckler again. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to perhaps salt this one away. Badgley able to punch this one through. And they double him up here. That makes our score 20-10. So his second field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the fourth quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
4 yards the pickup, first down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Monday. Oh, here we go. Oh, Mike 7, Mike.
Now Rosen on first down. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Here's second and 10 now from about the 32.
All day. All Monday. Any day. 7's a Mike 7. I got one. Tight dog. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. 7's a Monday. Let's go, D. Big Sears.
61, matchbox lights.
7, Mike 7. Defense wins championship.
Rosen to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Tried to go for the big one there on second down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
Big play coming up. Here's third and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
7's a Mike 7.
Let's get it together, defense. Let's get it together.
7's a Mike. Focus, defense, focus.
Mike 7. Hey, check. Crunch.
Hey, watch.
All right, come on.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. Now they face a third and 15 here following the delay of game.
Watch the boot. Quarter. 7's a Mike 7. Man, that's trash. 7's a Mike. I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you.
And the blitz does come. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Mike 7. So we got man. 7's a Mike 7.
They're going on fourth down. Rosen. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete, but there is a flag. And on fourth down, this is a big call. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
I got it. Mike 7. Hug. Mike 7. Rip right.
Throwing now is Rosen. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Desmond King picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The Charger drive about to get going. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
It's a loss of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 17-yard line.
Green 80.
49 to Mike. It's a party now. It's a party now.
Victory formation time for the Chargers. They take a knee. So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors. And this not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours, right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame so guys get used to doing it that way. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer Tim Karen said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
So for our visitors, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll get another road date next week. Meanwhile, for Miami, they're going to fall to 3-1 as they suffer their first loss. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early bye next week as they return to action in Week 6.